Hey, everybody. Welcome to Love and Reload, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I'm so blessed and honored to be here today on this very special Veterans Day with a bunch of my friends here, Hosea Bottley, Bryan Terry, and Ray Hardy from Aaversal Global, a few veterans and some very close friends. We're going to be talking about the veteran experience in the service, after the service, all now in relocation and different aspects of it, talking about the journey. And just, I'm really excited to get into it. Gentlemen, how are y'all doing today?
Great.
Good, man.
Yep, I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I got my stripes. I got my stars. Okay. Remember
Look
when
out.
I wore this shirt in Scottsdale and they said I look like a candy cane? But see, they didn't know. They didn't know this is my Veterans Day shirt. They didn't know. See? They didn't know. Get in the comments, y'all. Give us some Veterans Day love out there. Shout out a veteran. If you serve, thank you so much for your service. Hit that like button.
Yes, sir.
Let us know who you are, where you are, if you have a veteran in your family, or if you served. Let's go around the horn and just I want to hear from each of you about your service. What branch did you serve in? How long did you serve? And maybe where you were stationed and where your service was. Hosea, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I just want to say happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there, men and women around the world that has bravely served this amazing country that we have. Um, Hosea Bottley, Aaversal Global Relocation President and CEO, served in the United States Navy for 9 years, stationed in Hawaii, Whidbey Island, and Guam. Pretty tough duties.
Okay. You might have stopped by the Philippines once or twice too, I heard. But that's a different talk show. Bryan, go ahead. Yeah. Thank you for your service, Hosea.
Ben, hey, thanks for inviting me to the show today. Truly honored to be here. So thank you for that. Bryan Terry, domestic freight manager for Aaversal Global. Career Navy, spent 26 years in the world's finest Navy. I must say it was truly an honor and a pleasure. Had the opportunity to be stationed pretty much all over the world. And what I mean by that, my first duty station was the glorious Whidbey Island, Washington, where I met Mr. Hosea Bottley and some other few great gentlemen, some great mentors in my life. Then from there, I was probably the world's best naval recruiter down in New Orleans, Louisiana. Down at some of the best food in the world, I think. But did a recruiting tour down there from 95 to 98. Left recruiting duty in New Orleans, went back to the armpit of Western Washington, and that is Bremerton, Washington, where I served on board the Chucky B, the Carl Vinson, from 1998 to 2001. And then I had the pleasure of getting stationed in Hawaii. And from 01 to 05, that's where I got my glorious tan from for 5 years over there, so it's over there, got a little dark. You see how that went, anyway. Then I left Hawaii, went back to Washington State from 08 to 2016 when I retired. So, no, it was truly an honor to serve, man. I got an opportunity, man, to meet some outstanding people, man, and see some great things, with 10 combat deployments. So,
wow.
It was, all in all, a great career.
Wow, I want to come back and learn more about that, Bryan. Before we do, though, Ray, I'd like for you to weigh in and tell us a little bit about your service.
Ray Hardy, I'm Director of Human Services for Aaversal Global. Served 10 years in the United States Navy. Seaworthy for 8 years of the 10 years of service. Stationed at Barbers Point, Hawaii, San Diego. Served on the USS Lincoln. I did the USS Connie. And also as a weapons specialist on all of those ships. Served in Desert Storm in 91 and was proud to serve. And happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans and all of our men and women in armed forces.
Thank you so much for your service, Ray and Bryan and Hosea. And get in the comments, y'all. I want to hear if you've served or if someone in your family served. Give us a shout out there. We got people checking in. Brandon Tabasi says, thank you for your service. What's up, Brandon? Rob Zeit says, hello from Cambridge, Massachusetts, birthplace of the U.S. Army. I did not know that. Y'all love the Army, right? Navy guys? Happy Veterans Day to everyone who
Love them
served,
all.
especially y'all are like y'all are shouting out, all the veterans and everything, but then, camera turns off, and then I start asking about the Army, and it's like, oh,
Army's good, peeps.
yeah, yeah, especially my brother, Army 101st Airborne. Thank you, Rob. Rob, appreciate your brother's service. Daisy Sinclair says Happy Veterans Day. I know Daisy's father served as well as a Marine, actually.
Marine, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Devil Dog. Jay Hall checking in from USI Law. Happy Veterans Day. What's up, Jay Hall? Good to see you, buddy. Getting the comments here. We're having a Veterans Day special here, talking about the life in the service and life after the service. Bryan, I got to ask you. You said 26 years.
Yes, sir.
A real, it's a long career. What prompted you to have such a long career in the Navy?
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't think that I would stay that long. Being from Atlanta, Georgia, the football and basketball thing didn't quite work out for me scholarship wise. There was partial scholarships there, so I knew the money wasn't there. So the best thing that for me was to get away from the city, man, and go in the Navy. My intent was just to do maybe 4 years and get out. But I tell you, one of the things that when I got there, I met some awesome people, man. Some people that helped change my life. And one of these people are on this call right now. And that's Hosea. He's one of my first mentors in the Navy. Along with him and a few other people who I served with, man, they really helped shape and mold me to be the sailor that I became. And then there's one incident I tell you that made me stay. Is like when you go home on leave as a young man, and you go back and you see what you left. Yeah.
What was that like? What was that like when you went home for the first time after
it was eye-opening, man. It was eye-opening because growing up where I grew up at, it was a lot going on, a lot of chaos, and that was normal for me. But when I went to Navy, I got an opportunity to travel a little bit and see some different things and meet different groups of people. I realized that wasn't normal, man. And so for me, when I saw that, and I remember I got back to my duty station, I told my chief, I said, hey man, because I was a little rough around the edges, I told my chiefs, I said, hey man, I'm gonna come back, man, and get on my quals and do what I'm supposed to do. He goes, yeah, we'll see. And I did, because I realized that I didn't want to go back to that. I left that for a reason, and so one of the things my grandfather told me was, don't mess up my name. He told me that as a young man, and I knew that he meant that. And so what I wanted to do, he was a man that I wanted to make proud. And so I said, well, let me give this Navy thing a shot, man. And I must say, man, it truly worked out for me, man. God had his hands on my career and my life, and I'm super happy that I did what I did.
Wow, that's a great story. I appreciate you sharing that. Hosea, what prompted you to join the Navy?
Well, Bryan touched on it really well. It was just the environment of growing up in small town Texas. And I'm just, I was in the 9th grade. I knew I just want out. I got to get out of here. And so I joined the Navy before I even graduated. My mom didn't even know. I was.
Are you allowed to do that? Like, at what age can you do that? 17. The recruiter knows. Like, you made your decision for the Navy, son.
Right.
And I had joined and I had joined for like a month, and then I decided to tell my family that, hey, this is it.
What was their reaction?
Well, my dad was extremely proud, but my mom was very nervous. She just didn't know what to expect. But there was not much in Texas for me. I'm like, I got to get out here and see what the world has to offer. And one of the best decisions I ever made in my life.
It's funny we talk about this, right? And we talk about global mobility, and here we are sitting in this global mobility industry, right? And you three gentlemen, work for the same company, but you do different things in the company, right? And Ray, you do the human aspect of it, and Bryan, you do the freight, and Hosea, you're the international guy, now the CEO. But you've all had a global mobility experience through the Navy, and we have this whole global mobility experience sitting under our noses, kind of, that we don't even think about that way. But
Right.
You really do get to see the world, right, Ray?
Definitely, man. Been around the world, 3 times. Got to see some awesome, ports on my way in my journey.
Did you have a favorite port, Ray?
Yeah, Australia.
Australia, okay.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Chile was nice. Going around the Horn was really nice. But like I said in the opening, I was seaworthy 8 years. The 10 years that I
And what does
served.
that mean, seaworthy 8 years?
That I was always out to sea, man.
Yeah.
What is that
Always.
like being out there? Like, does that drive you crazy a little bit being out on a boat like that?
It's you stay busy, man. You work 12 on, 12 off. I worked on the flight deck. Working around jets and everything. So you stay busy. You really don't think about it too much. But you're with friends. You with your brothers in arms, and actually I loved it. Because I got to see a lot of things. Around the world that normal people wouldn't see. So it was an honor to serve, man, and get to see everything that I did.
How would you describe? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, speaking
I just want to say that these two young men right here, they don't really. They say I wasn't in the real Navy because I didn't go out on a carrier. I went out on the USS Bellewood, which is an amphibious assault ship, but out of my 9 years in the Navy, I only went out on the boat 4 months.
Oh wow! So you were busy. Weren't you busy hooping the whole time? Didn't you ball through the Navy?
I was hooping. I was balling. I was having fun. Probably too much fun. That's probably why.
So Bryan, as a person that recruited in the Navy, is it possible to sign up for the Hosea Bottley assignment? Is that a thing?
Hey, sometimes it shakes out like that, Ben. It all depends on what career field you choose and what platform you go to. I know Jose was in the aviation community. He was in a P3 platform, so he lucked out. Me, not so much. I started off in the EA6B community, and then I did what 2 ship company tours. So it didn't work out for me like that. So I got some sea time, man.
How would you say you guys talk about kind of like where you came from and that decision to join the Navy, and a little bit about that experience? But what would you say, like that one thing? How would you describe the way that you changed as a person from before to after your service? What was that? What was maybe the number one thing that you would say how you were different, maybe as a person?
I think that your level of accountability is just here. There's a certain way things that has to be done, and it's got to be done a certain way, and it's got to be done the right way. I know, of course, in the Navy, it was done the Navy way, but now in the civilian world, it's still done the right way, which in our eyes, it's the Navy way. You got to get things done, and you don't sit there and pout about what needs to get done. You just make sure it gets done, and that's what we do now. So, yeah.
I've had experience with the Navy way. I never did serve in the armed services, but I feel like I'm serving every time I got a muster for a meeting with Hosea, and I'm supposed to be there 15 minutes early, and he's like 15 minutes early is on time is late is unacceptable, and I get that damn speech like he's my granddaddy every time I wake up on the road with him until he leaves my ass in Seattle and we miss the flight, right, Ray? Anyway,
Exactly.
Anyway, but so I've learned about the Navy way.
Can I chime in on that a bit?
Yeah, please.
So, for me, joined the Navy at 18 years old, I was just trying to find my way. But the Navy made me grow up really, really fast, because that's where I joined the Navy as a young man, but I became a man. And what I mean by that, the Navy held me accountable. And then at the same time, too, as I grew and as I advanced in the Navy, I was put into leadership positions. So I would say how I changed was I became a person that it wasn't about me, it was about them. What I mean about them is this is where I had to pick up the leadership traits about, you can't be selfish, because the bottom line is, right, you have to train the next person to basically replace you, and that's just how it is, because you don't want to be like, if you don't train the person behind you, then you're going to be doing that job, and that won't give you the opportunity to advance. But then you take it another step further, because the word impact, there's someone in each and one of our lives who had an impact in our life. And so someone did it for us. So I took it upon myself to say, hey, man, Bryan, hey, be that guy to say, hey, you want that person to say, hey, Bryan Terry made an impact in my life. And that became contagious to me. And so every command I went to, it wasn't just about, me making the next rank, but it's all about making somebody else better because someone did it for me. So I would say in the Navy, it's like when you say brothers, hey, that's my brother, that's my sister, you truly want to see them succeed. And so how the Navy changed me, it changed me from in a fashion where it's not about me, it's about us. It's about the mission. It's about getting things done, And so that's how my mind is wired now, and I'm forever grateful for that. And the thing about it is, it's just that just be impactful, man. It's not always about you. That's why, like, if I do the best I possibly can. Like, if I'm representing the Navy, if I'm representing Aaversal, whatever. Hey, man, stop, pause, think, because it's not about you. Because the decisions that you make can impact your family, can impact your company. So it's just the big picture. He gave me the big picture way of thinking.
That's excellent. That's awesome. You got Yesman chiming in here, says, thank you for your service. What's up, Yesman? It's good to see you. Farrell Elliott, thank you for all your service in and now out of the military. Hey, Farrell. It's good to see you. Good to see you in Salt Lake City. Rob Zeitz, I'm imagining that experience with that level of accountability is especially helpful with relocation and mobility. Does this apply to the relocation industry?
Oh, yeah.
What's up, Ray? What are you thinking, Ray? You said,
absolutely.
Yeah. Accountability is everything in the relocation industry from what I've learned. And I've been here since, 2021, still learning, still being held accountable. And you learn that, top down. And, sitting with Hosea for 4 straight months when I first started in 2021, I listened to his conversations, I heard him speak, to, different clients and personnel. And, you learn that and you want to be a part of that. And that's what makes you better, in this industry. And I'm still learning. So I got a lot more to learn. It's like turning the page, of a new chapter in a great book. So it's always rewarding, read on and hold yourself accountable for everything that you do in this industry.
Yeah. And Bryan, from a transportation standpoint, accountability, how does that apply?
So I was, for me, man, it's like with me working with Customs, Border Protection, State Department, all these government entities, the expectation is that, I want to provide the best level of service as possible, and so I'm accountable to my customers. I'm accountable, to State Department. So like when I say I have an RDD, a required delivery date, I'm going to do my best to hold my vendors accountable to do that, and so it's all about, giving our customers, what they ask for, what they need, and give them the best customer service experience with us as possible. So that way they continue to come back to us to help them with their relocation needs.
Yeah, I like that. Get in the comments, y'all. If you have questions for these veterans, I'd love to hear them. I'm super curious about life after the service and how, you've transitioned those skills that you've learned in the service to life after the service. Because I talk to a lot of veterans who are punching out and going into civilian life, and they're like, how do I translate these skills, right? I've been working 26 years on a boat or 26 years in this big military thing that's kind of unique. Let's just be honest with you, right? And now I'm supposed to put a resume together and go into corporate world and present myself and translate that for a position. Ray, you're director of HR and people at Aaversal. What kind of advice would you give to a service member who's looking to make that transition?
I would first of all make sure that he is understanding and cognizant of the industry that he's about to get in, and try to help him, with whatever learning devices that he needs. Just reaching out to him, letting him know about the industry, finding out his, background, education, skill set, if he's ready to apply those skills here in this industry, but just helping him along and letting him know that this industry is vast and every day, is going to be something new. So are you ready to do this? And just help him and coordinate with him and let him know he has support within myself to get him through.
I got to think adaptability is got to be a strength of a service member, right? You know, adapt and overcome has got to be an MO, right? Jose, I got to ask, I'm going to ask each of you gentlemen, what was your first job out of the service? Hosea, what was your first job?
I got hired on at, when I got out, was it 95? I can't remember. But anyway, when I got out, I wanted to go to work for Boeing. That's why I left Guam and I came back to Washington State.
Thank God they
And
wouldn't
I
hire
interviewed-
you.
Yeah, exactly. and it's the same time that Atlas International bought Red Ball, and they were hiring. And I went down to interview, and I walk in, and there's like 30 people in this room. And this guy walks out. He was bald headed. I could tell he was ex-military. He sees me with my haircut, and he brings me all the way up. He points at me, says, "Hey, come to the front." He goes, "You're ex-military, right?" I'm like, "Yes." He goes, "You'll pick this up right away. Come with me." And that's how I got going.
Wait, just by the haircut?
Yeah.
You just getting hired off haircuts out here?
Well, you know, it was really
It's the high and tight, high speed, low drag. That's all you got to do, huh? All right. Okay.
so and I've been in the industry ever since, man.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Thomas over says happy Veterans Day. Hey, Thomas. Good to see you. Mike Falia says thank you for your service, gentlemen. We appreciate you. Happy Veterans Day. Hey, Mike. Get in the comments, y'all. Oh, Yasmin, good question here coming up. I want to go around the horn, though, and finish this question. I love this question. Bryan, what was your first job out of the service?
Well, I tell you, man, when I retired in 2016, you know, like leaving the Navy, I left the Navy as a senior chief petty officer, man. You know, I was pretty much the man. I was the guy. I was a go-to guy, you know. And so when I got out, man, I had my resume, you know, fixed up so none of the acronyms and everything, man. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. I was putting resumes out to Boeing, Hexel, all these aerospace companies, man. You know,
what did you think was going to happen versus what happened?
Hey, man, listen. I'm a first round pick. Hey, number one pick, man.
First round draft pick, huh?
First round draft pick, man. I'm gonna tell you something, man. It was rough, man. Hey, they treat me like an 8th round pick, bro.
Yeah.
8th round pick, man.
They treated you like an E1, right? Yeah.
But they treated me bad, man. They had me pissed off, man. But no.
How did you deal with that, though?
I struggled, Ben. Let me tell you. So
I'll tell you how.
In all seriousness, man, I took rejection hard, man. It really messed with my psyche. I'm like, you mean to tell me I spent 26 years in the United States Navy, you know, and I did multiple different jobs in the Navy, you know. The word, you know, I was adaptability. That's what we had to do, you know. So, and I couldn't wrap my brain around, hey, look, man, you mean to tell me I did all this, did this and this, did that? You tell me I can't learn to do what you guys got going on at your job, you know. And so that was hard for me to accept, you know. But the thing about it is I'm not a very patient person, you know. This didn't last for a long time. It only lasted for like 6 months, you know. But
6 months can feel like a long time.
It can, you know, especially because I was putting a lot of effort in, you know, getting these resumes written, because for every job I was applying for, I had to rewrite the resume to fit the job description, you know.
Right.
So there's a lot of work into that, you know. And I went to a job fair up in Bellingham, Washington, and I had to turn on the charm, man. You know, as you can see, I'm a very charmful fellow, you know. Anyway,
right. I was gonna say that. Yeah.
So I turned on the charm, man. But actually, I got in front of some people, so I learned that, hey, man, sometimes, you know, sending your resume, you know, that's not what you need to do. Sometimes you got to get in front of people.
That's right.
You gotta talk to people, you know. And so I was able to do that, man. And I got my first opportunity at Zodiac Aerospace. Now it's called Safran. And I tell you, man, it was definitely a huge learning curve for me, because Zodiac Aerospace, they make the interior, the Safran now. They make the interiors for commercial airlines all over the world, like the overhead bins, the bulk.
Man, those things never close, man. Hey, who do I write to about that? I'm just kidding.
It was probably us who made it, but don't worry about that. Anyway, but no, man, I got my first opportunity there, man. I got an opportunity to kind of learn, you know, a little bit about the aerospace industry, you know, making the aircraft parts. But I will tell you, I still struggle when I got there. I struggle with the work ethic of the people. I struggle with, people taking pride in what they do. And I struggled also too with people calling me by my first name for the first 3 months, but
Oh,
it was just, it's a lot of those dynamics that I didn't think about, man. But then I had to stop and pause and say, hey, look, Bryan, hey, you're not in the military anymore. This is totally different. So, but it took a while for me to get out of that mindset. And to be honest with you, I know when to turn it on and turn it off. You have to be smart like that, because if you're going to survive in the corporate sector, you have to be able to adapt, And so I pride myself on doing that. Sometimes I forget where I'm at, but the thing about it is, it's just that's my reality. I can't speak for anyone. I can't speak for anyone else. But it was tough coming out. My first 3 years out of the service, man, I struggled. I did.
interesting. What advice? I'm gonna get to you right on this question too, because I want to hear yours.
Sure.
But Bryan, I want to stay here for 1 second with you because I feel you. What advice would you give to someone who was going through that?
Well, first and foremost, I would
struggling
say,
with that.
So first and foremost, I would say, don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up, man. Like my mom always tells me, baby, it's not on your time, it's on his time. Well, I mean, his time is on God's time.
Mhm.
But sometimes some no's are for a reason.
Mhm.
And maybe all the no's that I got before, that wasn't for me. And the yes that I got was for me. And I prospered in that job. I love that job, So I would tell, first and foremost, I would say, don't give up. And number two, if you're really savvy with writing resumes, that's fine. But no, hire someone who can write a resume for you, so that way you can take all of your military jargon and flip it into, that job description that you're applying for, And then once you get the job, hey man, listen, stop, learn as much as you possibly can. Have a hot cup of shut up. Just listen. Because
Hot cup of shut up.
Well,
I like it.
I said it a nice way.
No, you shortened it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But no, man, the biggest thing is just kind of stop, pause, and learn. And just be thankful for the opportunity. And when you get the opportunity, put your best foot forward, man.
Yeah. No, that's great. And
along with that, once you put your best foot forward, that one position could lead to something else.
Yeah, and I would say one other thing that you said before that I would highlight is I'd say find ways to get off the resume, find ways to get in person,
Yes.
find ways to go network in person where people can look you in the eye, shake your hand, and believe in you as a person and see that spark and that it factor in you. And that's where people, I think, believe in you, right? Because I mean, we're all four of us are sitting here right now because someone on this call believed in us.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
In person.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It wasn't a resume. None of us are here right now because of a resume. And I would encourage everybody. I mean, I'm in the recruiting industry and we deal with resumes every day. And it's ironic because the resume is somewhat worthless, it either confirms something you already feel about somebody or whatever. So Ray, I'm going to ask you, what was your first job after the service?
United States Postal Service. 7
Okay.
years.
Yeah, that's where those nice
T6 letter carrier.
Okay.
Yeah, T6 letter carrier, man. Did it up and down hills, up and down stairs, door to door.
In Washington State, or where were you?
In Washington State, man.
Dang,
yes.
man, that's some good work.
And called the University District here in Washington State. So yeah, 7 straight years.
Dang, man. All right. Nice. What was that was that a hard transition or kind of easy transition? Because it
was a very easy transition, from government to government. They were looking to hire, military members, and I applied, and right then and there, right out of the military.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Wow. So interesting. Everyone kind of had different pathways. Super interesting. We got some questions. Get in the comments here. I want to hear your questions. Alexandra says, thank you for your service. Appreciate you, Alexandra. Jillian, happy Veterans Day. Thank you guys for your service. Jillian went to a military college, I think it was. Still no discipline.
Yeah. Hey, Ben.
Just kidding. Totally kidding. Joe, you're great. I'm
Hey,
just
Ben.
sorry, Joe. Yes, sir.
Hey, Ben.
Yes, sir.
I just want to tap in on Bryan right quick. When Bryan retired, we had a lot of phone calls, man. I had to talk him off the ledge quite a few times, man.
Oh man.
But he finally got it. You know, he struggled from that civilian work, from that military world to the civilian world. But he think he's there now because right now, the way he does business with State Department and Customs Border and VA and all these entities, they love him, man, because he's putting in defining. He's putting the whole program together himself, and they just love it, man. He just takes it and runs with it. It's just a smooth and seamless process in getting shipments done. Because he just don't give up. He just on it 24/7, man. Ensure these shipments are moving, holding vendors accountable, and he just does an amazing job. And I just think that's just the onset of the way he's structured from the military. I mean, when I speak to Rick Miner at Customs Border, he goes, man, that Bryan Terry, he be on it. He be telling them, this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
So you love hearing that, man.
Like
you
that.
just love hearing that, man.
That's awesome.
Well, you know, I don't mean to cut you off. You know, one of the things that I struggle with, you know, is I'm very detailed oriented. And I guess sometimes my expectation is for other people to be detail oriented, but it's not like that. But Hosea will always tell me, hey, man, that's not their job. That's your job. So here I am. So that's why I am the way that I am, because I know if given the opportunity, man, if I can kind of shape and mold it the way that I wanted to make it happen, it works out for the better.
Yeah,
you know,
I like
he'll say, he'll say, why don't they do it this way? I said, because it's the government, bro. So
that's ironic.
This is the way it is.
Now you're on the other side.
That's
You're
just the way
serving
it
the
is,
government.
man.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That is funny. We got some questions coming in. Get in the comments here. First, I'm going to go to Rob. Then I'm going to go to Yesman, and get in the comments, y'all. Hit that like button. Rob says, I'm wondering if AI tools like ChatGPT could help translate military experience into a civilian resume, at least with the difference in jargon. What are your thoughts on that?
I would say so.
I think it would. But, you know,
I don't think Ray's buying it.
No.
You know,
It's plagiarism,
the
man.
military, the military jargon, some people get it, some people don't, and it could be misconstrued on what ChatGPT is reading. So I don't know. It may work, it may not. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's yeah, I don't know. I think my biggest question as an employer in a company, we're not a big corporation or anything, but you know, is do you have experience working in an office? You know, when I think of the military, I think of people in the theater, right? In a battlefield, you know, in a hangar somewhere, or on a boat, or in a, you know, I don't think of behind a computer. I don't think of, because I mean, let's face it, that's all we do all day is sit behind a computer, answer emails, right? Let's just be completely honest, right? Like, so I'm like, okay, how's your Outlook? How's your Excel? How's your Chat GPT? How's your PowerPoint? How's your, you know, Brian, go ahead.
So Ben, to let you in a little secret, man, that's what we do in the military. We sit behind a computer, you know.
Yeah,
so,
just tell me that, because I'm thinking you're blowing stuff up. Yeah.
So
hooping all day.
Not all of us.
Yeah. So in those hangars, there are offices. So on those boats, there are offices. You know.
Right.
So you know. So me, I pride myself on. I put aircraft in the sky for about 14 years of my 26 years in the Navy. You know, and what I mean by that, you know, I was safe for flight. And so I worked in controlled environments. I worked in an office setting where basically, you know, let's say the air coom comes in, they got to check the books, make sure everything's good. You know, you got to make sure your AZs, your storekeepers got all supplies and everything. So it is an office setting, but it's a fast-paced moving. It's a fast-paced situation where you have, let's say me as the senior chief, have to hold everybody accountable to do their jobs when they're supposed to do it. Because if not, either the aircraft goes flying or the aircraft doesn't go flying. But worst case scenario, the aircraft goes in the dirt. So no, there is a lot of accountability in it. It is very, very fast paced. So, there's a lot of pressure, in it. A lot of people, you don't see that, but I will tell you, the Navy does prepare you to work in office settings. The Navy prepares you to work in a lot of different settings, so that's why I love the adaptability of it, to be in the middle of the desert, to be in the middle of a hangar of an aircraft carrier to lead large groups. So no, I think military leaders are probably some of the most adaptable people on the face of this earth. And pretty much they can thrive in any setting. That's just how I feel.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, Ray was the guy out there loading those 1,000-pound bombs and stuff. So, it is what it is.
Nukes, missiles, everything.
Yeah.
I stayed on flight deck, man. That was my office. My first office experience was after I graduated from Arizona State with my MSW and became a teacher and assistant principal. Having that office experience then helped me here until I was called to service by Mr. Hosea Bottley in 2021 to relocate my you-know-what out here to Washington State from Indianapolis, Indiana. So yes, I came with an abundance of office experience. Definitely.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. I love it. Well, I think I love your teaching background too, Ray. I mean, you have some really cool background. I mean, your teaching background, I feel like, the patience and then to make complex ideas simple for Hosea, I mean, I think these are such valuable skills, you know what I mean? Yesman's got a good question here for us as well. I love you guys. Yesman says, how did your exposure to diverse cultures and environments in the military influence your work in global mobility?
Great.
Ooh. Very nice.
I'm gonna ask Hosea first.
Well, I mean, the military is very, very diverse. That is for sure. And the environment is awesome. I mean, here's the thing. You're all on a mission together. I don't care what color you are. The mission is the mission. And so the bottom line is whether you're black, white, Filipino, Asian, whatever it is, that doesn't come into play when you try to get aircraft in the air, looking after your brother or your sister. So that environment is awesome. It was awesome. Just loved it.
Well, also too, for me, being from the South, being from Atlanta, Georgia, I would say that I was a little closed-minded to an extent. But once I joined the Navy, some of the best people who trained me were different nationalities and things of that nature there as far as to get my qualifications. So that kind of broadened my horizons to, not just, like I said, it's just not about me. It's about, about everyone, and I would say I learned a lot, with experience different cultures, traveling to different places, and so it opened up my mind to why certain people do certain things, why they act a certain way, and even now, working here at Aaversal, some of the vendors that I have are different nationalities and things of that nature there. So, I'm pretty familiar with, East Indian people. I'm pretty familiar with, Spanish, Latinos and things of that nature there. So, if it wasn't for my diverse network of friends that I have in the military, who knows, who I would be now. But I owe that to the military because the Navy's definitely a melting pot, for people from all over the world.
Exactly.
Yeah. I know Hosea, Hosea and I've talked a lot about this, right? And Hosea, you talk about growing up in, Coons, Texas, right? And, coming from, a small town, Texas, right? And we all generally kind of grow up in these little neighborhoods and stuff, surrounded by a lot of people that tend to kind of be a lot like us, right? In these pockets of our own kind of culture or whatever, right? And it's so interesting because when you go into the military, it seems like they just kind of throw you in a bucket, shake it all up, and stick you on a boat or stick you in a barrack or stick you wherever, you know what I mean, and shake it all up, and then you're roommates with a guy named Big Tex, and you try to convince him not to get married in the Philippines, and all of a sudden, and that prepares you for Ben Cross one day, you know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, you're just ready for people, and they come through your life, I just think that's such a cool experience. Because I mean, when else would you really put yourself in that type of a situation? You know, let's be honest, right? It's just such a cool experience, right?
You know, can I share a story? I tell you, man, I was a young plane captain on the flight line, and so it was myself and a gentleman from Oklahoma, and we didn't see eye to eye. We didn't. And I remember, man, our chief, you know, we were on the flight line, we were going back and forth, man. And he goes, "I tell you what, gentlemen," he goes, "I'm going to put you back, go back to the line shack, and I'm going to let you guys have a conversation. And then you guys are going to come out of that line shack, and you're going to be on one accord." And just sitting there talking to the guy, there was some words that were going back and forth, and it got a little physical, but it didn't get too bad. But here's what I learned from that. He came from a different background from me, but guess what? He was poor also, and I was poor. You know, we had some of the same similar upbringings with his family members and things of that nature. So we were pretty much the same, but just a different skin color. But you know what though, man? After that conversation, yeah, we said what we said. We did what we did. We had the conversation we had. But to this day, I can call this gentleman up right now, and I haven't talked to him about maybe about a year now, but I can pick that phone up and have a conversation with him. We can pick up right where we left off at. So I say all that to say this, man. You know, we're all human beings, man. You know, we just come from different backgrounds. We may have a different skin tone and things of that nature there, but we all want the same things in life. We just want to be successful. Right. We want to be able to take care of our families, you know, and we just want to be respected, you know. And so, all in all, I owe that to the Navy, man, to open my mind up, to not just think, hey, man, one group of people have it great, because they don't, you know. It's just, hey, guess what? He joined the Navy the same reason why I joined the Navy, you know, to leave the situation that he was in, you know. So the situation is this, man, you know, we're all the same, but we just look different.
Yeah. That's a great reminder. Get in the comments, y'all. Hit that like button. Let us know what your thoughts are as you're listening to Hosea and Bryan and Ray talk about their Navy experience on this wonderful Veterans Day. Love to hear your thoughts out there. This is really insightful. Janet Turner's tuning in saying, "Happy Veterans Day to my favorite guys. Sorry to tune in late, but happy I made it." What's up, Janet?
Janet, great. She's great.
She is.
Yep. Awesome to see you, Janet. Janet was our first producer here on Love and Relo. Got to spend some good quality time with Janet in New York City at the IAM conference. And it's always fun with Janet. Janet and I always cry when we hang out together. You know, it's kind of like you and me, Ray. Kind of the same type of thing. Yeah. So, yeah, man. But let me ask you this. I mean, you know, where the world's at today, you know, y'all served, you know, y'all saw combat as well during some tours, it sounds like. You know, would you still recommend Navy service to, you know, a 17-year-old right now? I guess he had enough of us. Would you recommend would you recommend Navy service to a 17-year-old today?
Well, I have a son, right? And he's 29, but you know, we talked about serving in the military, you know, after high school for him. And I told him, you know, that's his choice. You know, if he wanted to serve or go to college, you know, that would be totally his choice. I'm glad he chose to go to college. Given this day and time, with the conflicts all around the world and how they started, and you know where we're sitting right now, I would definitely have to advise not. That's just my own personal belief and feeling. But if a 17-year-old asked me today, I would definitely tell him, you know, to not join the Navy or join the military at this particular time.
But you said you were in Iraq, right? Right? Or no?
I served. Yeah, I served in Desert Storm, and you know, at that time, the senior Bush was president, and you know, at the time that you know we were sent to Iran, Iraq, um, we were already in the conflict. Things were already started. Did I feel differently about it then? Yes, I did. But,
Yeah.
You raise your right hand, to swear and defend this, country against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and you do your job. And that's exactly, what I did. But having the opportunity to speak with somebody before they raise their right hand, I would definitely let them know how I feel.
Yeah. And it's also different too when you're the 17-year-old versus when you're the dad, right?
Right.
Like,
Right.
it's different, right? It's interesting. And Bryan, before you took a break,
sorry about
we
that.
no, it's fine. It's fine. I was just I was just asking, what advice you would give to young people about military service these days. And Bryan, you were a recruiter, the best recruiter in New Orleans at one point.
So here's what I would say. Yeah, I actually in the nation, I was number 13 in the nation. While you
Well, you're the best one I ever met.
Okay, well there you go, Ben. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So that's a tough question, man. Because I'll be honest with you, my family didn't want me to join the Navy, and it was for a lot of different reasons. With the current climate of the country that's going on right now, there's a lot of senior leaders, very influential and impactful leaders who are departing the service right now because of the current administration. Me personally, if I could do it all over again, I don't think I would make the decisions that I made many, many years ago to go in now because of how I feel about this current administration. I don't want to get into the politics of it. I just think that it's a lot of it's not about America. It's not about the safety of the American people. I think it's about greed. So I would have a hard time, raising my right hand today, or telling one of my friends, sons or daughters, to raise their hand. That's just me.
Yeah.
Because now, what's the phrase? If you see a problem or whatever, don't be part of the problem, be part of the solution.
Yeah.
I understand that, but at this current time, I wouldn't have made the decision that I made 30 plus years ago to join the United States Navy.
You know what? And I respect that, and I appreciate you guys sharing that really candid opinion. And I totally empathize with where you guys are coming from. But right now too, I mean, you're sitting here at, I don't know, a very wise 40-something years old, Bryan. And okay, and but you have a lot more options than you had at 18 when you were coming out of Atlanta, right? Think about the options you had at 18 or 17 coming out of Kuntz, Texas, or whatever, right? Like, I mean, the Navy offered offered the GI Bill, right? College education, offered you a chance to go to the Philippines, Hawaii. Bryan still sporting that tan, and all that education and world experience, So I mean, I get everything you're saying. I mean, I never get it the way you get it, but I think I get it a little bit, right?
Well, here's the thing. Also, I mean, and Ben, here's the thing, man. I never forget. I was in Aaversal, Iraq. I did 2 tours there, man, and it was very, very eye opening, And there's a lot, when you go to war, you just go do what you're supposed to do. Then I went to Afghanistan, and I remember walking by a hangar. Every time I walk by this hangar, you would see a flag half-staffed and things of that nature there, And so the way we pulled out of Afghanistan, it put a nasty taste in my mouth, man, because of the fact there's a lot of men and women who lost their lives. There's a lot of mothers, a lot of fathers out there who lost their son or daughters. For what? For what? And so it's just for me, man. I mean, I don't want to beat that horse to death.
No, that's good perspective. Thank you, Bryan. I appreciate you saying that.
It's tough. And then you look at the current situation that we're in right now, man. God help us.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah.
Farrell saying this is so honest. Thank you all. and I appreciate these types of conversations, right? Because I mean, we come out, we say, thank you, veterans, happy Veterans Day, and and we appreciate the service and the sacrifice, and really, again, and we mean that. But sometimes we gloss over the nuances of the story, right? And everything that goes into it, and Ray and Bryan, thank you for sharing that. That's powerful. It's a lot to think about, it really contextualizes the sacrifice a lot,
Well, and also too, Ben, it's like, people don't understand when you join the Navy, man, you get an education. Yeah. You get a chance to travel and see the world. You get all the benefits, the medical and all the kind of stuff there. But ultimately, man, the goal is, is for you to have a successful career. But if you go to war, you have to give the ultimate sacrifice, and that's your life. And people don't understand that. People think that, hey, well, I'm just joining just, for the college and this and that. Yeah, that's great. If you have opportunity to do that, but there's going to be an opportunity where they ask you to go out and put your life in harm's way. And when that happens, you got to answer the call.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's something that people need to understand when they join the armed services. I get that, man. You get all the benefits and all that kind of stuff there, but it comes with a cost.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of spin that roulette wheel.
Yeah, you do.
Damn, man. I got a couple questions in here. Get in the comments, y'all. Really appreciate y'all out there. Let's see. We got a couple questions. We got time for these questions here. Mike Falia says, besides the people you served with, what do you miss most about being in the Navy?
Well,
I'll be honest.
It ain't the food.
Well, and the cheese special is pretty good.
I was gonna say you're eating in that different mess hall, right? All right.
The cheese special is pretty good.
Well,
Yeah. So here's what I'll say. I miss some of the people. I don't miss all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No, but here's what I miss most out of the Navy. But I have a little bit of it now, and I'm thankful for it. I miss the camaraderie. And what I mean by that, when I first got out of the military, when I got my first opportunity, it wasn't about team. They could say, and that word team was thrown around very, very loosely. And that never really set well with me. So when people say, hey, team, like in the corporate world, what I mean by that, hey, team, I kind of cringe about that because for me, I look at a team as I look to the right of me, I look to the left of me. I trust that young man, or I trust that lady, I trust that man with my life. But when you're out here in the corporate sector, not so much, man. I look at it as do your job. If you make a friend, great. But it is definitely not the same to what I'm accustomed to when I was in the Navy.
Is there anything?
Yeah, I'll definitely say the camaraderie, man. The camaraderie, meeting people from all over the world. I mean, we this Navy brothers and sisters that you meet for life, and you stay in touch with them to this day, I mean, like I said, I met Bryan when he was 18 years old. I met Ray when we were both stationed in Hawaii. Been knowing Ray over 38 years. So, I mean, like I said, brothers and sisters for life, and but
that's
yeah, I don't
very
know, man.
sweet, guys. But I'm actually gonna have to reiterate. Mike says, besides the people, what do you miss most about being in the Navy? So answer the question, gentlemen.
I'm gonna say the customs, culture, and diversity from the many countries that I visit.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Do you have a favorite one, Ray? Favorite country?
I would say Argentina.
Oh man,
Okay.
Yeah, Australia, Argentina. Argentina was great.
What was it about? Real quick. What was it about Argentina?
You really want to know?
Yeah, of course I want to know. Listen, only the real ones are watching this late anyway, man. So you might as well just air it out, bro. PG-13.
It was the food, man.
There you go, Ray.
Yeah,
Good answer.
it was. I'm sure it was the steak, wasn't it? It was. That chimichurri. All right. Okay.
No.
Bryan.
So I would say definitely the travel, man. I had an opportunity to go to Hobart, Tasmania. and saw a real Tasmanian devil, man. So just have those types of experiences, and then going to Thailand, man. Have you guys ever rode on the back of an elephant before?
No.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. It's scary and it stank up there, man. It's terrible, but it was fun. You know, I remember, man. I remember, man. Getting off. We were in Thailand. And I remember getting off the elephant, man. And bro, I smelled. It was terrible. I had between. I was sweaty, musty.
I was gonna say, you sure it was the elephant?
No, it was, bro. You know, a little bit of me too. Don't worry about that. Anyway, man, I remember we went out, man, with my buddies, man. We went straight from the tour. We didn't go back to the ship or to the hotel room to shower. We went straight out, man.
Ain't nobody got time for that. You got to go out, man. You got to make the most of it, right?
No, we had some drinking to do, and I remember we went out, man, and people turned their nose up at us, man. We didn't care. We had a good time, but no, man, I just missed the travel. I missed the travel. For sure.
I agree. Definitely the travel. You know, Philippines, Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan, Vietnam. You know, it just goes on and on.
Worst country you visited when you were abroad?
Busan, Korea.
Really? What was that about?
It was just market after market. You had people grabbing on you all the time, trying to size you up, man. They wanted to make you and outfit you with suits. You could buy like 30 pairs of Jordans for about $150, you know. Yeah. Everywhere you went, man, you just, you know, you ducking and dodging markets, you know, chicken feed, all kinds of, you know, smells and stuff like that, man. So yeah, Busan, Korea.
Okay. Bryan,
I'm sure it's different now.
Worst place you visited?
Man, it was definitely probably it was because we couldn't do a whole lot, man. We were in Saudi Arabia, man. It was just too daggone strict, man. It's like, you know, you were scared to do anything, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, man, you know, it's like, you know, you got to be quiet, you got to pray and all this and that. So I'm like, man, you know, and me being young, I was like, man, that's right. So I just stayed on the daggone boat. I just stayed on the ship, man. You know, because number one, you know, I didn't want to go to jail over there, man, because I was a little immature or something like that. So you just hey, man, just stay on the ship, man. You know,
man,
that was,
that's sure. When you know it's bad. You're on a boat for how long? You get somewhere, you're like, nah, I'm good.
Right?
We had like beer on the pier. So kind of, I mean, we went out, you know, on a couple of tours, but they had like what's called beer on the pier. You know, so I just kind of stuck on the pier, man, drank a beer, you know, had a good time that way. But I didn't really want to venture out because of how strict it was out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hosea, did you go to a bad place, Hosea?
Yes.
We know you got the custom itinerary.
We went on detachment. We went on detachment for 6 months. We left Hawaii and went to Adak, Alaska for 6 months.
Oh, okay.
That was horrible, man. Cold, it was bad. So yeah.
So you took a vacation to a bad place and then went back to work. Okay. Nice. I think the worst place you went, Hosea, was that gym full of the Samoans that was trying to fight you at the basketball game. That was the worst place you went. That was bad. Basketball tournament.
About that? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's a true story, man.
That was one of the worst decisions we ever made. That's the worst decision. One of the worst decisions I made in the Navy.
Oh man.
True story. Man. Oh my goodness.
Man, we had to fight our way out the gym, man.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. We got one more question here. Last question, and we're going to get into a little game. Jason says, how did your time in the service influence your current career goals? Real quick. Bryan.
It made my career goal after the service. I really wanted, you know, to go back to school and finish my college education. And that's something that, you know, I'm very proud of myself that I completed. So, yes.
Was that the Arizona State?
Arizona State, man, right behind
all that Australia time. You said, you know what? That influenced me to go to Arizona State.
No, it's actually the post office, man.
Okay, gotcha. All right, sounds good.
So for me, I've always led large groups of sailors, or just large groups, and so I would say, the Navy really prepared me to lead large groups of teams. And when I got out of the service, being area managers and certain, being managers at certain the opportunities I was at. The Navy prepared me to be, I would say, to kind of adapt to different personalities and things of that nature there. So when I got out, I had different roles. When I worked at Zodiac Aerospace, I was an area manager at TJ Maxx Distribution Center. Then I worked for Fresenius Kabi as a supervisor over there. So I would say my leadership skills helped prepare me for, the corporate sector. Now, my career goals here, how it's helping me benefit here, here at Aaversal, I would say, I'm pretty good at problem solving. So, because there's a lot of different fires, and I learn every day is something different in logistics, man. Nothing is perfect. Nothing is, as soon as you think it's good, man, hey, man, you can get a phone call or email, man, and then flip the whole thing, man. So, but part of my career goals, I would say also too, is be more patient. Be more patient, man. So I'm not there yet. Man, but I'll get there.
Hey, be patient. You'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hosea.
No, Brian pretty much nailed it. Just being patient, but your leadership skills. Coming out of the Navy, I knew I could lead. I was prepared to lead. Work hard. You have a tremendous work ethic to get the job done. So it was just prepares you for whatever you want to do in life once you get out of the military. You can adapt and adjust and make things happen.
Love it. Love it. All right, y'all. Hey, let's have a little fun, guys. You ready to have a little fun, little Veterans Day edition of Overrated, Underrated?
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
All right, it's happening either way. All right, guys. All right, here we go. Overrated, underrated. Do you know how to play the game?
Yes.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a topic. You're going to tell me if it is overrated or underrated. Those are your two options. Okay? Pretty straightforward, right? I will tell you if you are correct. All right, let's go. First one up. Insurance, overrated or underrated?
Overrated.
Overrated.
You guys sound like you spent a lot of money on insurance.
Yeah, man, overrated.
Isn't that funny? You spend all this money on insurance, then it doesn't cover anything, right? And then when it does cover something, it goes up.
Right.
Sheesh.
Yeah,
overrated, man. Who needs it, huh? Sheesh. All right, that was an easy one. All right, everybody gets a point. Next one, overrated, underrated. Bitcoin.
Overrated.
You guys sound like three guys that don't own any Bitcoin. It's sitting at 107,000
Who understands
right now. It don't matter. It's $107,000 of Bitcoin right now. Okay, buy it at 64. You doubled your money. I don't understand it. I don't know, man. I don't understand how the dollar's not gold backed either, man. But you know what? We're walking around with it. All right, it's still
you need a BHD to understand Bitcoin. How about that?
A BHD?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
What is that? Digital what?
No.
It sounds.
A Bitcoin degree. You need a Bitcoin degree to understand Bitcoin.
Oh, okay.
All right.
BHD, like PhD.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
A player hater degree. Yeah, that's what PhD. All right. All right. You know what? All you guys are wrong. Bitcoin is not overrated. All right. Bitcoin is the future. You guys with your fiat currency. Good luck to you all.
All right.
All right. Get some Bitcoin. It's low right now. Buy low, sell high. All right. Next one up. Overrated, underrated. This one's for you, Brian.
Teacher salaries, definitely underrated.
Underrated?
Very much so.
Underrated.
This is an easy one.
Hey, if I can shed some light on this, man, I'm pretty sure the four of us have had a teacher in the past who was very impactful in helping, shaping, and molding us as men today, man. And I'm gonna tell you, man, they're so underappreciated, man, so underpaid. And my heart goes out to them because, man, they help shape America, man. And the way they're treated is just it's disgusting, man. It really is. I live in Vegas, and you mean to tell me all this money we have in Vegas, man, and the state of Nevada is probably in the bottom 5 in the country as far as teacher salaries and things. It's just, it blows my mind.
It's bad.
Yeah, it is. I totally concur.
I agree. If we want to make America great, You know, we want to catch up in all these different, you know, areas, right? We have to educate people, right? And we have to build the talent and the skill sets right here, you know.
And some of the best and brightest are still out there, but they don't want to, you know, they don't want to. Who would want to subject themselves to, you know, some of the stuff they have to go through along with the poor salary, you know? So
it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
No,
So
that's
what
a
you're
great.
saying is that
That's a great point.
when are we going to invest in these kids, right? Is that that's what we need to be doing? We're investing in everything else.
Yeah, totally. What should be a starting salary for a teacher?
I mean, personally speaking, you know, like, you know,
well,
like,
hold on. I'm gonna ask Ray because Ray actually was a teacher.
Okay.
Yes, I think anywhere from 75 to 85. Okay.
Yeah, starting salary. That's a good salary. I mean, that would definitely pull people into the profession, and then you could be choosy. You could actually have your choice of people instead of just begging people to do it. You know.
Exactly.
I'm gonna say, hey, make it between 95 and 105, because remember, that's taxes. You got taxes. You got insurance you got to pay for, man. You know, so if you chop that 75K up, man, literally, man, that's only what maybe 55, 40, 45 best.
Yeah.
That's just my
depending
opinion.
on the state that you're in.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So I was going to say, depending on where you're at, but I kind of feel like Bryan number is more in place of where salaries should be, especially out here on the West Coast.
I don't know if I could afford to live in y'all's district, man. I mean, that's a lot of cash, man. I'm probably paying $12,000+ a year in property taxes right now. But yeah, we got to do more. We got to do more to pull people into this profession and signing bonuses. And you look at what we're paying signing bonuses for now. You know, it seems like we could allocate that money. Anyway, this was another easy one. Look at, I'm just giving y'all such easy questions over here. All right, teacher salaries underrated. Help out with student loans. Rob says yes, for sure. That would go a long way as well, for sure. That's great. People are saying underrated. Hit that like button, y'all. Get in the comments here. Next one's gonna be interesting. Overrated, underrated. Michael Vick. Bryan, you want to go for that one?
That's tough, man. You know, you hit me in the heart with that one, man, because he had my city. I'm a big fan of Michael Vick. You know, he made a poor decision. Turned his life around. I'm gonna say it's underrated.
All right.
I'll say underrated.
Yeah.
I mean, given the fact that
I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna say underrated. I mean, he brought a lot to the league. I mean,
he did.
He played hard, you know, and yeah, he made a mistake, but that doesn't mean that, you know, he didn't do what he did on the field.
But the biggest thing is how you come back from that. I think his comeback story, like right now, he's a coach right now, leading young men and women at an HBCU right now, and it's just, you know, I think he's come full circle.
Yeah, he really was one of the most dynamic players, you know, ever in the league, and a player, like one of those generational players, you know, I think that just changed the game. I mean, he was kind of reminds me like how Allen Iverson's impact at NBA was, you know, the way he played quarterback and everything.
Right.
And they came from like the same area too, didn't they? I think from that Virginia Beach area.
I think so.
Yeah,
Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
Newport News, something like that.
Yeah. So, I agree with you. I think he's underrated. You know. All right, last one up. Overrated, underrated. Price of gym memberships. I wouldn't know. Guys, tell me. Overrated, underrated.
Overrated.
Overrated.
And the reason why is because you pay all that money for a gym membership. You go in and you work out, and you got people sitting on the equipment on their cell phones. Overrated.
I got to push back on that. I got to push back. You know, I would say it depends on, you know, like the gym I go to out here in Vegas, man. You know, it doesn't have a whole lot of amenities, you know, things of that nature. But I get it, Ray. You know, I don't think that's so much on the gym, the price of the gym members. I think that's just the person in the gym. Like EOS. You can pay what I think like $30 a month for a gym membership. I don't think that's too expensive, you know, but it depends on where you go. Like where I go,
$30 a month.
yeah.
Is that back in 95?
No, I mean that's right now. You pay $30 a month at EOS. Now the gym I go to is $100 a month, you know, and I get the military special. So, but I get it, you know, this here or there, you know, but it's just, I don't know. I don't think I kind of
it's definitely overrated, especially with the one I go to. I mean, it's insane. You know, we do the family package. I think it's like $300 a month or whatever.
whoa, yeah, that's a lot.
Dude,
That's a lot.
what was Heidi getting her hair cut there too, man? Like what?
Yeah,
You know, you probably got one of those that make you smoothies and stuff. They, you know, they.
Well, I'm about to get it down to just me because nobody's going to the gym like they used to. So I'm gonna take the family off.
Shit, man. I'm pretty sure you could do push-ups in your bedroom, but you know, whatever. You guys figure that out. All right, I'll just give you that point. Y'all, this has been a lot of fun. Veterans Day special here with Hosea, Bryan, and Ray from Aaversal. Guys, thank you so much. And everybody out there watching today, it's been wonderful having y'all watch the show. We wouldn't have a show without y'all participating. Hit that like button one more time and show our guests some love today. I just want to say thank y'all so much for your service, and thank you for being on here and being so candid with us today about your experience. It's been really wonderful.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you, man. We definitely appreciate you as always.
Yeah. Take care, guys, and we will see y'all. We will see y'all tomorrow, everybody. Stay tuned. Take care, everybody.